There is only one indigenous broadcaster championing the cause for the restoration of Biafra. Biafra Human Rights Radio. Of course, unstoppable and remains the beacon of truth. It has been so since yesterday, and it is today and forever.
Land of the rising sun, we love and cherish. Beloved homeland of our brave heroes. We must defend our lives or we shall perish. We shall protect our hearts from all our foes. But if their prize is death for all we hold dear, then let us die without a shred of fear. Hail to Biafra, consecrated nation. O fatherland, this be our solemn pledge. Defending thee shall be a dedication. Spilling our blood we count a privilege. The waving standard which embodies the free shall always be a flag of liberty. We shall emerge triumphant from this ordeal, and through the crucible unscathed we'll pass. When we are poised, the wounds of battle to heal, we shall remember those who died in mass. Then shall our trumpets build the glorious sun, our victory we scarred our minds around. Oh God, protect us from the hidden pitfall. Guide all our movement lest we go astray. Give us the strength to hear the humanist call, to give and not to count their cost each day. Bless those who rule to serve with resoluteness, to make this climb a land of righteousness.
United Nation, you gave us law of self-determination. We followed your principles in freedom fighting. But why does the life of a black man doesn't matter to you all? Biafrans are being massacred in large quantities. Instead of getting help from you people, you called us shit.
This is the story of Biafrans who died on the road of freedom. This is the story of the motherless searching for a lovely home.
They were shot by the military. No one knew what it all began.
A painful history, living a life of misery. United Nations, why did you let the children die? United Nations, why did you let the children cry? United Nations, why did you
you haven't grown. We cannot second the stop. Yes, we need to go back to our home, yeah, our home.
What have we done? It is a missing human treatment. What is a crime? The desolating our environment. Efforts are suffering every day. What more can we say if that's the price that we must pay? We must pay. And I'm so disappointed in you. United Nations.
Once again, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to some of you, good night, depending on your time zone. This is Radio Biafra Extra, and we are streaming to Biafra Human Right and Freedom Radio, a platform that is the embodiment of pro-Biafran group. Men and women who understand the precarious situation we have found ourselves and the need for us to do the needful in order to save ourselves from the impending danger. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to some of you good night, depending on your time zone. I remain George ONYIBE, and of course, as customary demand on this platform, I acknowledge every man and woman out there who understand the truth, who know the truth, who stand by the truth, who live for the truth, and if necessary, die for the truth. I acknowledge those of you who choose to identify with us in this journey. And of course, as always, without wasting much of our time, we go on to our discussion this evening. And the title of our discussion this evening is Considering the Importance of Congregation and Consultation regarding the Biafra Restoration Project. In our discussion yesterday, I made it clear that there is need for congregation and consultation. These two processes cannot be avoided. These two processes cannot be compromised. These two processes are interchangeable. These two processes cannot be separated. They are separable and yet inseparable. And of course, today there is need for us to look into it, because a lot of things are going on, a lot of techniques, a lot of strategy, a lot of pattern is being introduced, and our people are falling for it. But I don't blame you. After all, none of us has been freedom fighters before. Very few. And now that we are, and now that we have found ourselves as activists, what do? We have a whole lot of examples to follow, because we are not the first and certainly will not be the last. And so in the midst of all this shenanigans being introduced, simply because you want to save us, you want to deliver us, my brother, the beginning of rigmaroling in the wilderness has just begun. But of course, we must understand we do not have all the time. And of course, some member of High Punk, a social media warrior, having listened to the broadcast yesterday, and then they came online and they started writing, there is nothing like consultation. We will not consult anybody. Anybody that don't care about Biafra, let the person get out. We used to think that way. We used to act that way. But only on one condition. Because somewhere along the line, we thought we will get to a particular point where every action and activity will be reviewed, and then we bring this very all restoration project to a conclusive end. But little did we know that all we have are career freedom fighters. They are under salary, and I can tell you they don't care for you. They may have cared for you in times, but now they don't care for you. Go and look at the social media. I think the trending update now is fundraising. Who is ESN? Who is unknown gunmen? You are raising funds to defend our land. From who? From who? ANEC office in Enugu was burned down today by Boko Haram. I think Buhari sent them. Is that why you are contributing money? And of course, you got to pay $10,000 US. 50 of you, Mugus, and then Simeon Ekpa, who don't know the road to his village, is going to give you Biafra. Let them do their bidding. He who paid the piper detained the two. And then the Kanu is cooling down right there in Abuja. And he said, oh, be calm, be peaceful. Under our watch, nobody will be allowed to serve the next generation. It is our duty to point you to the way. But you have a choice to make. You have a role to play. That in the end, you will understand that, of course, we pointed you to the right direction. But under our watch, nobody will be allowed to serve the next generation. The earlier you understand, the better. You can pretend as if you don't understand what we are saying. You can misinterpret us. Some people say, oh, because they expel you from IPOB, that is why you are fighting in Nandekano. Why would I do that? I actually prayed for me to be expelled. And that becomes the beginning of my miraculous salvation. Imagine when Nandekano have turned to a common criminal and I'm still a member of IPOB. Imagine what my fate would have been. It is to be expected. But we have fought about this issue within Nandekano 4 years before you even knew there were misunderstanding. For 4 years, people of conscience against that criminal. You got to leave him and you move on. How do you got to leave him and move on when Biafra is now being haggled for pence and shillings? When Biafra is being sold? When Biafra is on the verge of being criminalized? Our message must go through. And so I punk on social media, say, oh, don't mind, we are not consulting anybody. If you don't like, consult. If you like, consult. If you don't like, we are not talking to anybody. We are going to get Biafra. You are void of reasoning. And so for Biafrans, every component member nation that makes up Biafra, from Igede to Iyala to Bobura to Ugeb to Tinapa to Ugoja, all the way to Idoma, Igala, Agatu, Mbitorumba Nombisi Amandu Bankweriolo, down to Aruchuku, ONYIBE Mudike, Abatete, Mbose, all of you, down to Oka, Emenam, all of you, Abakeleke, all of you, Urobo Shekiri, Ahoda Adua, Otueke PA, Patani, Yanogua, all of you, you must know this truth. There is no single agitation platform. Ogoni cannot liberate themselves. Robo Shekiri cannot liberate themselves. The Ijaw nation in 1 million times, let's assume their capacity is magnified 1 million times, they cannot remove themselves from the danger. The Igbo nation in 100 lifetime are just warming up. They don't even know where they are going to. And then anybody coming to tell you it doesn't matter, hey, they don't need to talk about it. They are deceiving you. We have been on this path before. We insulted all the politicians. We cursed our elders and our monarchs. We cursed the church and everybody. We call all of them out. It is not because we are wrong in what we have done, because they actually deserve it. But then we need to get to a point where we should understand that because we have the power to beat up somebody does not give us the right to do so. And this is where superior reasoning begin to take order of the day. And so, like I said, our topic this evening is simply considering the importance of congregation and consultation as regards to Biafran restoration project. Many of the activists you know today are simply avoiding this process. And of course, in the essence of this very process, we are not going anywhere. It is going to be another unending quest of rigmaroling in the wilderness. You cannot avoid it. But of course, for us to be able to draw this message back home, because we want our people to be cleared in some of this issue. So when we talk about Biafra, you should understand what it entails. You should understand where we are coming from. And this is the only reason why you can't be able to appreciate where you are going to. If you lack this knowledge, I tell you, everything you are doing will amount to nothing. We were having a discussion with some of my friends some time ago, and we are talking about conspiracy theory. My friends argued very strongly, passionately, in a very strong term. And they said, as far as it is conspiracy theory, it does not exist. Not until it is backed up by factual evidence, not until it has occurred, it does not exist. I understand the true definition of protocol, and I agree with them. And I said, what if at the end of the day, the conspiracy theory happens? Or what if it, in the course of or event of trying to occur, it was averted by one process or the other? Does it mean it's not a conspiracy theory? It is applicable to what we are doing today. Because you have not been able to lower yourself to review the precarious situation we have found ourselves, and then having been brainwashed with certain theories that don't exist, will not make you right. Let us first of all try to have a clear review on what these two terms represent. First of all, let us look at the issue of congregation. The word congregation means gathering or collection of people, animal or things. Of course, it is a popular term used by the church. The congregation of the saints of God, the congregation of the children of God, the congregation of the men of God, the congregation of the congregation, and so on and so forth. But it's not about the congregation of the Son of God. When we talk about congregation, in its primary definition, it simply means a gathering or collection of people, one, a collection of animal, two, or a collection of things. And so in its ordinary or normal scope, it goes beyond religious setting. If indeed we want to restore Biafra, the first thing we need to do is to embark, is to activate this very process that initiates congregation. This is exactly what we are doing here. This is exactly what Chief Raphael Wazurike did. Under Mozob, then they understand that the first thing they need to do is congregation. It did pay off well until iniquity or the process was compromised. And then when IPOB came under the leadership of Nnamdi Kanu, you cannot or you never resisted except this process, this procedure was introduced. Congregation. And of course, the People's General Dinchukwemeka Odimegwu would not have been able to achieve or make any move except there were first of all congregation. Because despite the fact that he is the governor to the eastern region, in the current Nigerian day political setting, Philip Effiong is not from Anambra, is not from Imo, is not from Enugu, and certainly is not a member of the cabinet of Ojukwu government under the setting of Nigeria. And so somewhere along the line, there were need for all of them to congregate. Not very effective one, I must say, but they did congregate. What does it mean to congregate? For us to gather our people, you must gather your people. Yorubas understand this. They have passed the stage of trying to congregate. They are already in a fellowship. The Hausa have been there from time immemorial. Let me tell you how it will function. Go to any marketplace where you have the non-tenants occupying some section of that market. You can call them Obausa or Hausa market or whatever. And then try and go to any uncompleted building where you have majority of the Hausa coexisting. They understand the power of congregation. They understand the importance of congregation. And so one Hausa man from Niger Republic, Fulani man from Niger Republic or Futajalon or anywhere in the world who decide to come into Nigeria, they're not afraid. They don't need a hotel room. They don't need a relative to lodge in their home. As far as one of their kinsmen, as one of their town man, language man is in that location, they certainly don't have anything to worry about, because they understand the power of congregation. So what do? An Hausa man from Nasarawa state will move, and then another Fulani from Jigawa state will move, and then you have another one from Sokoto, Maduguri, and the rest of them moving from different directions, heading to, for instance, Delta State. And the moment they arrive and lighting themselves up from their vehicle, the next thing is congregation. They look for the nearest mosque, they look for the nearest meeting, they look for the nearest Hausa market, and nobody discriminates. The system is there already. There were a particular year I have to engage the services of these people, and I saw the true power of congregation. I was working for a particular politician then, in terms of civil engineer, and there are jobs we were supposed to do. Our own youth were not ready to do that job, and so we employed the services of our youth. There were over 100 of them. They cook on the same pot, they live in the same uncompleted building, they do virtually everything the same. And with time I engaged them, and I said, where are you from? You say this. Where are you from? You say this. Where are you from? You say this. I said, do you know anybody? They don't even know themselves from Adam. They've not met before. But you see, they understand the need for congregation. They have become one. They have become one. The contract lasted for like almost 7 months, and within this period I have to make one of them my very close friend, who now gave me information of who they are. They do quarrel, they do fight, they do have misunderstanding, but when it comes to the setting for congregation, they never break rank, because it is guided by principle. And so that they know it. They are all around you. And no wonder the Bible say, when 2 or more are gathered, and God say, I am there in their midst. For Nimrod to be able to create the initiative for building the Tower of Babel, of course the people have to congregate. And if that their power were breaking, if they were unable to achieve the very purpose of gathering, and that is because God upset the balance, and the congregation have to be distracted by the creation of a different language that makes them unable to understand each other. And now you see, 2 cannot work together except they agree. And so congregation is collection of people in this regard. And so if we say we want to fight for Biafra, what we are supposed to do is we begin to talk to our people, we begin to invite our people. You see how church go to evangelism? We did it in IPOB. Our sister Chimobi Okafo of blessed memory, we did it. We are going to every nook and cranny among other nobles, preaching to our people, because that is the first thing to do. It really does not matter whether we agree or we don't agree. Whether we like ourselves was not an issue, but the ultimate goal was to ensure that all of us come together, because out of every 12 there must be a Judas. And now maturity, civilization begin to showcase itself when you will understand that among your 12 disciples, one of them is a devil, and yet you ignore him. Let devil do his work and let Holy Ghost do his work. Now maybe you begin to understand why our fathers say Abachoso Aguamai. The day of reckoning will come. And so you don't need to bother yourself. The first thing you need to do is congregation. And today, as regarding to Biafra Restoration Project, where is the congregation? Mwada congregation, ESN congregation, Otapiapia Freedom Fighter congregation, Autopilot congregation, Career Freedom Fighter congregation, Edu congregation, Igodomigodo congregation. Where is the congregation? And now you will begin to understand. We are not even ready. You that is holding me on the ground, you are not going anywhere until you let me go. And if I be holding you down, I'm not going anywhere until you let me go. So where is the congregation? Is it the people you pay to come and deceive others that I am a Jew, we are Biafra formidable, our people, we are waking up? Are you our people? How many of you make up our people? Oh, we are the Igbo. Yes, we have decided we are going. Are you the Igbo? How many people make up Igbo? Go and tell Joe Igbokwe that you want Biafra. No, go to Joe Igbokwe's house as his kingman and tell him you want Biafra. Let us see if you are going to live Kirikiri. They will not try your case. Is he not an Igbo man? And so because he does not buy your idea of one Biafra, does he call you now to say he's not Igbo? Oh, no, he's a saboteur. And when you are doing this, you see profess, oh, we love our people, we want to gather our people. My brother, you are deceiving yourself. You are. Let me digress a little bit so you will understand. In one of those days, I went out for evangelism. And on my way, I saw one woman. She was quarreling with another person. And I went there and I made peace. And people, they say, this man is a Christian, he's a good Christian. And one of them said, he's not a Christian. Don't mind all those show they put off. Just wait, if he come around here, I will slap him. Let's see how he's going to react. And it was a barbing salon. I was actually going to shave. And the moment I moved into that barbing salon, the next thing I heard was a very dirty slap. Why? I heard myself. I look at the person that slapped me. And the guy posed as if he want to fight. I looked at him. I didn't say anything. I moved on to the barbing chair to sit down. And I never said anything. I said, Baba, please barb me. I'm not telling you I want to forgive that guy. My people say when you wake up in the morning, fowl begin pursue you. My brother, my sister, make you begin run. Because whether this fowl don't grow teeth overnight, you don't know. Run for your life. I did not offend anybody and they slapped me. My brother, I need to know what the game is all about. I said, Baba, please come and barb me. And so I sat. And then they cover me their wrapper. I was looking at the guy. I want to know his next move. I want to know how many people are with him. Because I will slap him back. I know therefore they slap you here, give them the other one. I have never been that kind of Christian. And I respect that doctrine. But I'm telling you what I have in my mind. And the next thing I saw, to tell you that God is all knowing and wiser than all of us. The guy kneel down and start begging me. Oh, this thing not true. I'm sorry. They try you. You know, it's like prank. We won't see how you go react. I say, my brother, you don't see how I react. But that slap no be fake. Now better slap you give me. It's okay. And then we laugh over it and move. And some of them say, oh, he's a man of great faith. My brother, now principle. Now principle. It is just a matter of small knowledge that make me to escape. Because what I would have done to that guy, and then I later knew they were trying to test my faith, I would have failed woefully. And that is even with around my church premises. Now you get the point. And so when it comes to the issue of congregation, you should be ready. Many things are going to happen. You should be ready. As the leader, You must protect the interest of those you are leading above all. And when you are telling people to come, there must be something to discuss. There must be an agenda to carry out. Today, what are we doing? Oh, we are giving you Biafra. Biafra is coming now. He's going to come. We will keep Buhari. And we will burn Nigeria. If you don't live under the cannon, we destroy Nigeria. Every saboteur, you will not enter Biafra land. You will not come home. If you don't have your IPOB receipt, don't come to Biafra land. Rubbish. And so now, what do? We fail. You can see IPOB Media Warrior, they are on my platform. Get out, criminal, idiot. Yeah, they want us to go to Biafra. And that is why on this platform, many people have come into the de facto government, into the Biafra Nation Alliance, and many of them have left. It depends on their view and understanding about restoration project. And then what we think. If along the line you cannot fit in, my brother, move on. Maybe somewhere along the line you will be able to get the vision clearer, and then you should be able to come in again. But you cannot see the vision, you don't understand the purpose and the driving force behind the activity, and then you rise up and say you want to destroy it. You are not able, because we shall respond to you adequately. That is where we are today. It's very important, very vital. We must learn that. Just look at the church and understand the power, the potential of congregation. Just look at the mosque and understand the potential of congregation. Do you think the monarch will be relevant without the people they lead? And do you think your politicians are relevant without the people they lead? And so if we indeed want Biafra, let the congregation begin. Let us start gathering our people. And to gather our people, there are a lot of things you need to avoid. Why are we here today? No, why are we here today? For instance, we go back to my personal encounter. I was expelled honorably from IPOB. Not because I stole, not because I quarried anybody, not because I did anything wrong, because I told you now they cannot stop selling the next generation. And of course, you don't look at it and say he want to show he's somebody. Most of you saw the audio there. I will deal with you. I will blah, 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 blah. And he meant it. And the night Nnamdi Kanu expelled me, that very night, 2 hours later, China Sanwo-Olu for the first time published my picture on social media. These are people that are gathering us. Are you gathering us to kill? In less than 2 hours, Nnamdi Kanu expelled me for reason best known to him. China Sanwo-Olu went on social media and published my picture. And somebody said, how do you know it's China Sanwo-Olu? There are 3 people that have access to my pictures. One is Ikechukwu Gwoha, Biafra Land National Coordinator. The other one is China Sanwo-Olu. I thought he's a brother. And the third person is Mazuchuka from Efo. I don't take picture. It was Ikechukwu Gwoha who continually begged me, they want to snap with China, please allow them. I say, you know the rule. You know the rule. He said, don't worry, don't worry. Today they are probably, hey, look at him, hey, look at him. And this is how they make congregation. And then, the very picture that I gave to them, I classified them. A particular picture, repeated 2 different times. I sent the left viewer side to Mazimefo, and I sent the right viewer image side to China Sanwo-Olu. Until then, nobody has it. And immediately the picture pop up on social media. I knew it was China Sanwo-Olu. And of course, Mazimefo did question me, how did you know? I said, see the one I gave to you. Look at where I'm facing. See the one I gave to China Sanwo-Olu. This is the way it's facing. And so I have to accuse him directly, because this is not the one I gave to you. Go back and check it. So what do they want to achieve? They want to push me to Nigeria so Nigeria can kill me. The greatest mistake you will make, all of you, is to allow me to go to the enemy to look for help. I will not spare any of you, and God will bear me witness. You don't understand. Let's leave it there. But we are supposed to congregate, create an avenue to protect our people. We are supposed to congregate and look into certain issues, form modalities on how to progress. It is true, Moses was anointed, Moses was empowered, and a very friend of God. But Moses cannot speak very well. He has impediment of speech, and so he need Aaron to speak for him. And then Aaron is old. He cannot do the job of the youth. And then you see the like of Joshua and Caleb. They were there to mobilize the people. They were the strong instrument for congregation. And so they were able to assemble the people. And before they march, Joshua could say to Moses, these are the tribes of Benjamin, these are the tribe of Levi, these are the tribes of on and on and on and on. Somebody made it possible. Today we are about to march. Which tribe do you belong to? Where are the tribe of Benjamin? Where are the tribes of Judea? Which tribe do you belong to? Who is actually responsible for congregation? And now it's time we come here and say, join Biafra Nation Alliance. That is because this is the beginning of the process. Join Biafra Nation Alliance, or join any pro-Biafran group you identify with their ideology. We are not all right, and certainly we are not all wrong. Because I don't agree with your ideology does not make you wrong. And if I, on that note, begin to condemn and castigate you, and then I think I'm not a moral man. And that is why today I encourage those of you who are fighting to pull down the Constitution of Nigeria. You are doing well. Continue with it, because the Constitution itself is fraudulent. We don't know who wrote it. We don't know how it came about. British government published it and then they give it to us. Some Fulani men told us, we the people of Nigeria, the man or the woman that is called we the people of Nigeria, we still not know him up to today. But many have died because of this fraudulent constitution. Many more will have to die because of this fraudulent constitution. And somebody is going to tell me decree section 1 of constitution, number 2 of level number 3, and then all jargon grammar. And somebody who is supposed to be educated and sincerely progressive-minded individual is going to come and tell me, don't you know it's against the Constitution of Nigeria? Who the heck is the Constitution of Nigeria? And now maybe you're beginning to get it. And then there are others who believe in devolution of power. Let power be given to every region. There are those who believe, no, let us restructure Nigeria. There are those who want the Bill of Rights, resource control, and of course, ultimate disintegration of Nigeria. It is our right. It is our right. Now that we have people with diverse opinion, you see, you follow your path, you follow your way, you move on. We will all get to a particular junction. And that is when this congregation is perfected. And one day I shall meet with a Mazobian, and then a Mazobian will meet with the Ninas, and Ninas will meet with Biafra Nation, and then the de facto customary government will then come and said, now we have different things we do not agree, but it looks like we all agree that something is not right. Now what this congregation must focus on is not your personal theory or ideology, but this thing we have all agreed that is not right. Let us give it our best shot, and then all of us give it our best shot. That is the end of it all. And so each time I tell you, join Biafra Nation, join the de facto customary government, that is because these are the two groups I function under. But I'm not against any other. And if there is any way I can support them, I do. Because somewhere along the line, somewhere along the line, and believe me, all of us will meet there. That is when we can be able to say, yes, we did well. We did not do well. On the last day, only true Biafrans will be raptured. On the last day, only true Biafrans will be raptured. Don't worry. And so, but yet, some people say, no, nothing like congregation. We don't know the congregation. If you like, come on. If you don't like, come on. Whether you like it or not, Biafra will come. Biafra must come. And then the next time, let's do fundraising. Of course, we shall look into the issue of fundraising. So you should be able to know the criminals by their fruits. And so why congregation? Some of the reason why congregation is very important. Because in congregation there is power of unity. When you congregate, it creates an atmosphere for unification. And when the people are united, there is nothing you cannot do. There is nothing. The moment there is congregation, it creates room for diverse opinion. Once there is congregation, it is made available. It creates room for diverse opinion. Nobody knows it all. Nobody. You know some, others know some. Nobody. And then you say the one you know. Because there is a unification, because there is congregation, others now say what they know. And you see, when there are multitudes of advisors, a nation will win a war. You cannot have multitudes of advisors except there is congregation. Of course, we cannot forget that so many cooks spoil the dish. That's not the area we are looking at. When a nation wants to go into the war with another nation, they bring in intellectual mind. Go and look at the history of how Israel returned back to Jerusalem. They gathered their people around the world, great mind I must tell you, led by a renowned scientist, intelligent men and women. They draw a strategy. The first thing is, I cannot be in America and fighting to deliver Israel. I cannot be in Saudi Arabia and want to restore Israel. I need to have a place to put my foot in the land of Israel, in Jerusalem, the holy city. And not until that is done, every other thing are mere discussion. These groups went to Jerusalem, bought a massive land, built a company, employed the Palestinians as well as the remaining Jewish. It does not matter whether you are Muslim or you are Christian or anywhere. And that gave them free access to enter Israel without being investigated, without being suspected. And while they were there, they run their surveillance. And at the end of the day, from Tel Aviv, as we speak today, Jerusalem remains the capital of Israel. So much to discuss, but not today. And some of you are saying, oh, we want to give you Biafra. We want to give you Biafra. Then you send unemployed youth inside the bush. You'll be raping and killing and harvesting human organ and selling. And you will be there doing fundraising. Do you know your village? Do you know your village? Do you know your village? We need to create a process where you can be able to move around. Let's be sincere to ourselves. When Nnamdi Kanu was granted bail, despite the fact that the court gave him restriction, Those restrictions does not hold water. And Nigeria never confronted him. We needed to wait for the next adjournment date. But within that process, we move out from agitating for Biafra. We move out from doing the right thing we're supposed to do. We venture into other avenues. And what are these avenues? Agamaga Abuja, Jebuta isi Buhari. Agamaga Abuja, Onunetinku. Hey, Nanikana Gaga Abuja. Hey, Agamaga Abuja, Jebuta isi Buhari. Agamaga Abuja, Onunetinku Ndiabia. I punk of Abia, Onunetinku. Agaga Abuja, Jebuta isi Buhari. And now it's very close to Buhari head. We are not seeing it yet. Was that part of the process? You go and cut off the head and bring it here. You go ahead and bring the head and then we acknowledge you. And while those things were being done, all our labor, every sacrifice that I've made, even those who have died, is almost becoming in vain. There was no need for that. A lot of things happened. The Nigerian military decided to invade this house. We'll leave it for next time. And how many people died? You don't even know their name. We only know one. One dog died. Only one dog died. The rest woman who died in the Kano house, you are nameless. And so when we call you Bingo, hey, you call you Bingo. Why are you calling up? You are lower than Bingo. Because Jack died. Jack Kano, Nande Kano dog. His name is Jack Kano. Did you not hear it on Radio Biafra? Very unfortunate. So when this process is initiated, it creates room for people to bring their opinion. Because you bring your opinion does not mean it must be accepted, but it should be considered. You never know. And then lastly, it creates room for equal participation. It creates room for equal participation. We're lacking all these things. They are not there. Some Biafran Igbo or some Igbo lawyers sued Nigerian government as we speak that they want Igbo nation. They want Biafra nation. The case is still in court. In their last court appearance, another group of lawyers from Ijo came to the court and requested that they made application for joint suit with the Igbos fighting for Biafra. And when I saw the audio for the first time, I was a bit happy. I said, thank God all these people are waking up. But it shocked me to hear what those Ijo lawyers say regarding the issue of Biafra. And they said, we have applied for joint suit in this issue of Biafra because Ijo is a sovereign nation on its own, and our future cannot be negotiated on our behalf by anybody. And so we are asking this honorable court to grant our application for joint suit so that the Ijo can speak for the Ijo. It was not necessary. Something was missing. There is no congregation and there is no consultation. And now, as far as the Ijo nation has applied for a joint suit, those Igbo nation fighting for restoration of Biafra, it is dead on arrival. Because even though you win that case at the end of the day, the power of attorney is vested on the legal practitioners from Ijo nation. Because they now have the right to appeal and say they don't want that. That is not right. And they give their reason. And now what do you do? Oh, he just betrayed us. They are all saboteur. Oh, we not agree. Let us move on. You don't even know what is happening. But that is how I see me. And if I tell you, give me $10,000, I'll give you Biafra before the end of this year. You think it is you are buying tomato? Rubbish. You think to get a nation, you are selling gare, motor pass, you don't have sense. You think it's to betray your brother. That is how they fight for a nation. Let us be deceiving ourselves. Very unfortunate. And of course, we leave that and move on to the second, which is consultation. When we talk about consultation in this setting, it is the action or process of formally consulting or discussing. For instance, you are sick. You consult your doctor. Those of you who are in the medical field, your patient will come, and then the doctor sits in a room, for instance, and then the doctor being consulted will now ask the patient, yes, how can I help you? Conversation open up, and the patient will say, I can't eat well, I find it difficult to sleep, and I'm always having headache. The doctor will take down those complaints and then ask certain question. How often do you eat? And then the doctor, based on his area of expertise, will say, okay, I will give you some multivitamin drugs to enhance your eating capacity. And then the headache, maybe I'll give you paracetamol or any other painkiller. Let's see how it's going to be within the next 3 days. If it does not subside, then we know what to do. And then in terms of sleeping, are you thinking too much? Maybe you have BP, or maybe one thing or the other. They diagnose your, not kalo, they properly diagnose your matter. And when the doctor has applied every possible solution within his reach, he said, I refer you to a professional doctor, or they will tell you, go and meet your pastor. This is spiritual matter. And so you see the importance of consultation. And in most cases, you come there, you explain your problem. The doctor looks at you immediately and says, this is what you are suffering from. We're going to put you under this medication, and in about 2 weeks, you should be fine. And then take this drug and go home. In 2 weeks' time, you did not notice any improvement. Please do not hesitate to come back immediately so that we know how to arrest the situation. This is consultation. You have your vehicle, it is faulty, you consult a mechanic. And you tell the mechanic, my motor is doing kick and start. And your mechanic will look at the vehicle and say, this is not my job. And then the mechanic help you to consult an electrician. An automobile electrician will come and say, okay, your armature is bad, your auto kick is not functioning well, or probably your battery head is bad. And now, are you seeing how it works? You may be the owner of the vehicle, you are ignorant about the fault of that vehicle, and so you believe in your own understanding that the mechanic has the solution. And now on getting there, the mechanic said, no, I don't know this aspect. It is the electricians that are expert on this. And then he lead you to those who know it. And at the end of the day, you will see that the problem will be solved. It is not about the expertise who did that job, but it is about these people being willing to direct you to the right place where you will get the solution. So each time we talk about consultation, it is the same thing we are trying to tell you. You want Mbano people to join Biafra. There is a way they reason. There is a way they reason. If you are not in the same line of thought, or you cannot show them the reason why they should not stand on what they believed all their life, you are not going anywhere. Let me try and break it down a little bit so you understand the importance of consultation. You know, consult anybody. If you like, you join. If you don't like, you don't join. It is so now your papa compound. Even your father compound, you and your siblings, can you give them order in your own father's compound? I am the first son of my father. And by the virtue of being first son, there are many property I can claim. After all, I'm the first son. But let me tell you what is going to happen. My younger ones, they are going to resist me, one way or the other. My younger ones, they are not going to take it lightly with me. In their heart of heart, they feel and have this feeling sometimes that I'm going to take the lion's share. And what do I have to do? I zero my mind and assumed my father never had a single property. My parents never had a single property. I fend for myself. I made a vow myself and say, I will never talk about my parents' property until I have my own. After all, my mother built her first house in Abo Urugudo at the age of 26 years. And then, if a woman can do that, why can't I do that? And why am I saying this? Because I'm a first son. I have to take everything. Because you are Nande Kano, you now decide for all of us in Biafra land, right? Or because you are Rafael Wazulike, or you are who? You will not decide how Biafra is going to be. Only your father has. You can't change that decision. We talk consultation. We will not consult anybody. We will not consult. But what you don't know is bigger than you. Let me try to bring you closer so you understand. These two processes cannot be overruled. You cannot interchange them. It is irreplaceable. Somebody thinks that, for instance, let me use Anyoma as a case study first of all. Somebody will say, we have Anyoma people in our group. And then because one Anyoma man is with you, you have the mind of all the Anyoma people. My brother, you lie. Because when you come to Anyoma, you will understand that there are breed known as Anyocha. There are breed known as Eka. There are breeds known as Ndokwa. And there yet another known as Oshimiri. You see, to penetrate Anyoma land, Eka, Ndokwa, Oshimiri, Anyocha, all these component members must be on the table. They respect each other, they believe in who they are, and you see, and now you get the point. How will you know this without consultation? Most especially when you are dealing with the wrong people. And now the Kanu did make that mistake. But we are making effort to consult our people. They sent Ikechukwuha to go to Abo and consult with King them. I've said it in one of my broadcasts. That was when Nnamdi Kanu has finalized his plan to rubbish me. Go back to Mbiri now. Go back to those kings and tell them Nnamdi Kanu send me message. Because while they were in that palace, they called me. Your people are here. We want to be sure you know who they are. They said Nnamdi Kanu sent them. And I said, I don't know who they are. And then Nnamdi Kanu cannot send people to you without my knowledge. I don't know them. I've said it before in my broadcast. Why? Because Nnamdi Kanu was in the process of trying to use my people to fight me. Are they not showing themselves? Is Faith Ogala not showing himself? Is Faith Ogala not the one telling you, hey, Jajenibe still money, Jajenibe is a thief, Faith Ogala is Sonyabo. Shame on all of you. I hope the media warrior job is still paying off, because we are just warming up. So come and do anything in Abo now. If you enter there, I will go there after you have left. Try and return there, you will see what will happen to you. And then say, we are not Biafra. Carry the Biafra and go. And so if I, a hardcore Biafra, a die-high Biafra, a Biafra, believable Biafra, Biafra of all Biafra, will talk to you this way. Imagine those who are still dragging their feet to know where they belong to. And you are dragging them into Biafra. And you are sitting, you're not going to tell anybody whether you like it. I ask you a simple question. Can you take any decision in your father's house, even as a first son, without proper consulting your younger ones? The answer is no. Maybe now you begin to get the point. Let me make it clear to you a little bit so you understand. Some people say there is no God. And the Bible rightly say, only the fools say there is no God in their heart. And then they give you theory of evolution. Blah, 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 blah. Men lived for 1 million years, and then they metamorphosed and became chimpanzee. And then after some time, they now disengage and become, different grammar. But it's a lie. Despite religion, take a look at technology and the way the human or animal structure are designed. You will understand it takes a great mind for me to be here. Somebody created a man. He gave you nose to breathe. He gave you eye to see. He gave you intestine with so many organs to process food in order to renew, to provide a self-renewable energy that keeps you going. He creates process that enables you to develop, and then from a particular stage to the next stage, and then you get to the peak of your life, you die. And before that time, by the virtue of nature, you are able to reprocreate. It's God. It's not a work of incident. And now you compare that of animal to human. It's the same thing, irrespective of diverse in shape and form. It's the same thing, even to the tiniest or the shapeless cell ever. And then you look at, for instance, the generator. Your generator have nose. Your generator have intestine. In fact, every technology is designed through the very design of human or living things. And so we just copy it from the creator, and then we're able to produce something similar. Go and ask the Wright brothers who built the aeroplane. It took so many years, it couldn't fly. And then they have to begin to catch different form of birds. And see why some big birds like eagle, some big bird like goose can fly as big as they are. Because making an iron to float in the air and sustain itself, it requires something unusual. And then they discover that the eagle, though bigger than your native fowl, can fly, but your native fowl cannot fly. And so what is the secret? One of them has bone marrow and the other don't have bone marrow. You see. So would they have been able to make an iron to flow in the air? Except they want to study what God created. And so each time we're trying to make you understand certain things, it's not because we do know. It is because you can never be wrong and get right. Let us take Abia State as a case study in this instance. And somebody say, Ndi Biafra. Who told you Ndi Biafra? Have you heard the perception of Ngwaman to the issue of Biafra? What is the relationship between the Igbere man and the Ite man? Can you come out here and tell us the real history between Igbere man, Ite man, Abriba man, and Ngwaman? Can you tell me who the Aruchukus are? Or you don't know they know who they are? And this is why David said, lead me, O Lord, to that side where you advise your children. David prayed to God. He said, that very corner where you advise your children, please lead me to that place. Only consultation can give you such privilege. And that talk about consultation, some of you are deliberately killing it. Come and cross barrier. You can only talk to those who have been converted already. But those who are ignorant, they will perish in that ignorance. After all, our people perish without knowledge. I don't even expect you to understand everything I'm trying to say. But hopefully let God help you. Consultation. And then somebody say, no, Akwa Ibom people are with us. We are Akwa Ibom, we are ready. Go and ask Nshima. Nshima will tell you, oh, we are ready. Akwa Ibom is formidable. We want to move. Nshima. What is the difference between Efik, Ibibu, and Anang? And you see the amazing thing is when you meet a Kaman, we tell you he is neither Ibibio, nor Efik, nor Anang. But they are all Akwa Ibom. And now you see, despite the fact that they've been able to congregate and consult and then form a very formidable family setting, unbreakable by any. That is why they are still surviving, trending. You go to Eket, it's a different development. You go to Iyo, it is something you cannot explain. From every angle, they build city for themselves they can be proud of. And you will not hear the story of tribalism. That is because there is a process of well-formed consultation. Before they say, I am a Efik, I am a Bibu, I am Enang, I am a Kaman, And then finally they say, we are ONYIBE. You know, no say something happen. Go and fight them. And so, if anything you are going to do there, in as much as your intention is not to divide them, but you must create a process that will bring every competent member involved into the system. Now maybe you begin to understand why so many ONYIBE people did not support Philip Effiong. When Philip Effiong died, there is the road to his house is not motorable. In fact, his own community erosion demarcated them out of the neighboring community, because the government of Nigeria wanted to teach him lesson since he chose to live as a Biafran, and of course ultimately died as a Biafran. And I respect him this morning, this evening, and I thank him wherever he is for his sacrifice and for those things he has done to make us believe in Biafra yet again. Consultation, very important. When you say, oh, we not consult anybody, we not do the consultation, let us move ahead and get our Biafra. Nigerians are consulting them. They are. Nigerians are consulting them. This process must be initiated. We've gone around, we got people on the desk, but then we had a problem. Chinas Anworu has deleted most of the information in his page. But little did he know that all of them, I have it stored somewhere. I videoed them and I screenshot them, because they are good in lying and deleting. Yeah, look at almost all on the Kano broadcast of lying. If not that somewhere along the line people downloaded it, but now it's a lie, I didn't say it. Now the Kano say it's a lie, Apong say it's a lie, we play it for you. We play it for you. I traveled around more than 5 different times, approaching progressive-minded individuals from every clan, tribes in Biafra land. A very risky and dangerous journey, but we embarked on it. I brought names and phone number, submitted it to Chinas Anworu, and then Nnamdi Kanu vented it, but there was issue. And what is the issue? These people were not going to believe in supreme liar. These people were not going to agree with your decision that, oh, you are Okusti. These people have their own way of reasoning. You must hear them out. And that is where the problem comes. They sweep it under the carpet. Now we're going to consult them. If they want freedom, let them want freedom. Don't you know some of us even want to become Fulani slave? I think we have printed our now Igbo Quran, Nso Quran. And then while we are trying to show we are wise, we are formidable, we are authoritative, we are Okushiogo. Everything our fathers labored for, everything we have bled for, everything our brothers and sisters died for, and some still incarceration, they haven't been abandoned by us, you are coming to write. You are antagonizing me. Do we look like I'm looking for follower? Does it look to you I want to worship you and lick your bumbo? I'm not that kind of person. We tell you the truth. And hopefully, irrespective of how slow the truth may be, never a time in the history of humanity has lie ever been able to conquer the truth. And I remind you again, this one will not be an exception. And then somebody would say, hey, what is the essence of the consultation? Let me tell you. Why the consultation? With the presence of consultation, do we know the opinion of those involved? Do we know the opinion of those involved? Now they cannot want to criminalize IPOB, Biafra struggle, and we say no, you cannot do this. And that is where we fell apart. And I hope you are enjoying the USM and unknown government. Contribute. To one ego doshobodo, ego banko to one ego. And where has it led us to? just a ticket to kill Igbo youth. And so when there is a genuine consultation, everybody's opinion is considered. Some people will tell you, no, we don't do this. I've always told you, it is very difficult to see Agbo man fighting Agbo man. It's only in IPOB I saw it almost happened. And that is because some of our people born in Lagos State or born outside home, or who have lived inside one farm in America or wherever they are, lose their mind. But watch them. Another Agbo person will call them and talk sense into them. And then they get out. They repent. Because our culture has been, if you cannot flow with somebody, leave that person and move on. And that is how we do. But when you don't want it that way, it then goes down to that single fact. For instance, when IPOB expelled me, did I not write appreciation letter? Did I not move on? Until they now open radio, as they pepper, as they hot, as they toro, as they mechanize, Judge ONYIBE exposed. And all of you, most of you were happy, rejoicing. Oh, he's a criminal, we will banish him. My God, I still do Rogodo, I still do Biafra Lando. You will want banish me, don't carry your children run go Canada. With our money, the other one they for Abuja, Fulani Janja weed they protect you. To fear war economy. Number 2, consultation will create room for equal participation. Equal participation. When we come to broadcast every day, Chikuma Wankwo, Ike Chiku Omeha, all of us Igbo, head of directorate Igbo, head of IPOB Igbo, deputy head of IPOB Igbo, accountant of IPOB Igbo, writer of IPOB Igbo, everybody Igbo. But yet you are sitting and say, hey, come out, let us fight ourselves. That position, can't another tribe enter there? You see now what Masimefo told you people and said, I am resigning from my deputy. Let us get somebody not Igbo. But then they cannot need to be doing rubbish with some of his Igbo criminal brothers. Leave them, let them go. This is what they are avoiding. I need you to check it now. Well, yes, we are Igbo, Biafra Igbo, Igbo, you do kingdom Igbo, Biafra, but everywhere Igbo. And then everybody is looking at you. The only time you bring in another tribe is to set them up. Like what you did in Delta State. Now the Kanu gave order. Every state must be managed by indigene of that state. As we speak, somebody from River State is the state coordinator of Delta State. Somebody from Akwa Ibom is the state coordinator of Abia State. This was against the structure. This was against the rule. But Nnamdi Kanu need to deal with John Chukwuma, finish John Chukwuma. He has to use somebody from Niger Delta. And then he sit back and set fight for us. And I say, you know, see there, Niger Delta people. You know, see there, Yeye people. These people are Yeye people. They're worse bad people. How many Igbo people have come to challenge me? I can't remember any. Except Nnamdi Kanu recruit. No Igbo man has challenged me. Most especially the ones that know the truth. But I have more Niger Delta people trying to challenge me. If not for the single fact I tell them, you do anyhow, you see anyhow. You be Niger Delta, you no get sense. You can't use because of Nnamdi Kanu, you can't near me. Thunder way go fire you. We go carry on a house, come out for where it is. Put her for center of my road. I promise you. And God is my witness. Why am I saying this? There are a lot of issues that need to be discussed. There are a lot of issues that need to be resolved. There are a lot of fears that need to be emptied. You cannot neglect such issues. And even within, you don't have any idea. For instance, you're telling me about Anambra. Please, people of Anambra, Soludo, can you people tell me why the Onitsha people are rendered politically irrelevant in Anambra? Now, there is a saying that said, no Onitsha man will ever rule Anambra. Onitsha people know. Obi of Onitsha know. They won't say anything and they are watching you. And then all of you may be Anambra. And you think all of them will dance the same tone with you? Oh. It is going to be very unfortunate that we know where our problem is coming and we are pretending. I look at Ohaneze Ndigbo, for instance. A very renowned epic body that speaks for the Igbo people. And then I go back and I think that the first Ohaneze leader Ndigbo, Ohaneze leader of Ndigbo, is a normal man. And then he's no longer there. And Ohaneze Ndigbo, as we speak, don't recognize me as Igbo man. And I can't say it, oh. And it doesn't give them concern, no. But if I come and say I'm not Igbo man, hey, we told you they are saboteur, Janjaweed, oh, they saboteur, they betray us. So who speaks for me? As an Igbo man that is not an Igbo man, who speaks for me? That thing that made Ohaneze Ndigbo, for instance, not to recognize Anyoma as Igbo. Forget about that politics, oh, because you're going to tell me now that, oh, Secretary General for Ohaneze Ndigbo is from Isiokpo. How many extraction of Ikwere do we have? So does the Isiokpo speak for the Apana, the Obiapos? You know, you get the point. So Isiokpo is Ohaneze Ndigbo. What about Choba, Mbuoba, Uzuoba, Rumokuta, Umwola? What are they? Onya Banulo, Onya Banulo, Onya Banulo, oh my kwatwa o. Onya Banulo, Onya Banulo, Munam Onya Banulo, oh my kwatwa o. Get these two processes intact. And I tell you, you will not even need to donate. You will not need to raise fund. This Biafra will come. Because a lot has gone wrong. I mean, why some of us are inside forming cabal. Nigeria move ahead to do the consultation on our behalf. Why didn't Chukwuemeka Odimegwu Ojukwu of blessed memory was still the governor of the eastern region of Nigeria? Rivers State was carved out and created without his knowledge. While he was still answering the governor of the eastern region, Cross River State was created out of that region without his knowledge. How did they do that? Consultation. And that consultation from the Nigerian Argo has not stopped. They've consulted your monarchs. Now they are under federal government payroll. Consultation continue. They are consulting your pastors. Very soon all of them will abandon you. They will consult your wife very soon. They will consult everything, consult your children, consult and consult, and you will be left behind. Let's stop there anyway. But let's do this. Hey, no, we don't need it. It's not necessary. We want Janet to join. No room for equal participation. And of course, finally, when there is consultation, it brings an avenue to protecting and representing of every interest. Through consultation, you have that opportunity to protect and to represent every interest. Every interest. People have interest. I have said it. We have consulted a particular group, competent member nation that makes up Biafra. And they said, okay, we love this idea. We believe in this idea. But you see, we have a problem. We've seen this kind of thing before now. But if we must come out fully, this is how it's going to be. We will write an agreement that when Biafra is restored, we will be Biafrans for 50 years. So we can review the structure. And then if after 50 years we are not satisfied with the way it is going, we will pull out without having to go through this process again. That was the end of the discussion. Asin and the Kano. The people say, so our people, we won't be Biafra. But this, now so we go do am. We go write agreement. Say, when Biafra come, all of us go be Biafra. For 50 years, we go see how Biafra go be. If we notice, say, somebody they play smart, and things no come there as we agree, after 50 years, we go divide and pull out of Biafra nation. Now our request be that. And now they can't abandon them. That is the end of that meeting and consultation. My happiness is that most of you in Europe are aware of this meeting. Why did it not continue? What you do now, you come and bring what's up. Hey, don't mind that. Anybody that want to come and let you come, anybody I'm just want to come. Begin to kill Igbo youth in the very unfortunate. And so in conclusion to what we are seeing this evening, it is only the full engagement of this process that can actually open door, that will give us access through progressive minded individual who will in turn create a platform that has the capacity that will eventually bring every individual to this very platform where our freedom can be properly secured and all of us go home. It's always that way. You have no choice. Let the journey begin. I think Ninas are doing that. They are consulting. I think other pro-Biafran groups should do more. Everybody have to do that. And when victory comes, you do not need anybody to tell you. Because you will hear the sound in the air. Yes, you will not need anybody to tell you. Our lines are open at this moment. And of course, only my WhatsApp line that is on for this evening broadcast. It's a WhatsApp line, just only WhatsApp line. If you have access to it, you're free to call in. And the number is 090-380-57131. 090-380-57131. You are free to call in and make your contribution while we have the time. And of course, those of you who are neutral in your thinking, those of you who are able to discern the truth, those of you who mean well for our people, those of you who see the need why this issue Nigeria should be addressed, I beg you, there is need for congregation and there is need for consultation. I have a caller on WhatsApp. Let's see if I can be able to take it. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me? Oh, of course, always network issue. Caller on WhatsApp, can you hear me?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, my brother Aslem Mudowili. Welcome to the program. Good evening from here. Go ahead, please. The world is listening.
It's been a long time. Good evening, fellow Biafrans, and my name is still Alex. I'm here with Dover. I'm the National Administrator, Biafra Nations Alliance, South Africa. And by the special grace of God, the creator that was never created. I'm also a servant in the Parliament of Biafra Customary Government. I wish to use this opportunity to thank our as global administrator, the capacity of global ONYIBE. There is velocity, and with hardware, is making sure that the gospel of the concept of the people of Biafra is preached. I also want to use this opportunity to thank all those who are contributing immensely without looking for a payback or a reward. I said that God, the creator that was never created, replenish them in abundance. With this last mission of restoration of Biafra, a lot of things are at stake. But before I continue, mine is still the main concept of the day. I would like to say, never, ever, ever you give up. The worst thing that can ever happen to a man is when you throw away the towel. As long as there is life, there is hope. But in your quest to achieve what you want, make sure those around you are safe. In the words of Nelson Mandela, he said, if you are able to convince your neighbor that you are not a threat to his survival, you will gain his trust, and you also will work with you to any length you might wish. But the problem we are facing today in our life is that some few individuals think that the best way to achieve whatever and whatever is to instigate fear among the community, the people. And in the midst of fear, they can expect, they can control, they can push you around. But it's a mother, Abraham said. It's not work in some parts of the world, but in this part of the world, I've never seen the possibility of it working. The people you want to bamboozle will rise up one day to ask questions. Is this why we all come out? Is this the journey we embark on and back on? The concept of our people are gradually awakening, and they are gradually seeing the danger, the destruction, the calamity that violence has brought in our land. Unfortunately, some politicians are, if I must say, beneficiaries of this wickedness and that evil and terror. So, in other words, they don't even know what it's all about. They don't even know what is coming their way. It's not about Nigeria better or not better. After all, America fought a civil war. Yes. They still come back together, they talk. Casualties can never be 50-50. There are those, where things are working, there are those who pay the ultimate price. There are those who sacrifice for things to work out. But the fact is, justice must be found. Mandela said, we fought against white domination in South Africa. He fought against black domination in South Africa. He fought against minority and whatever. All these things just in at justice. He fought against injustice at all levels. And you that is clamoring for Biafra today, my question to you is, are you fighting for just Biafra or for justice? If you are fighting for justice, reflect back and ask yourself, go through your actions and inactions, and tell me if all your actions are on the path of justice. If it's not on the path of justice, just know that you have derailed. You got it wrong. You cannot use wrong to make a right. The current going on in our land today is as a result of not knowing the direction that you are going. Some people are mischievous, some allow themselves to be brainwashed, hypnotized. They come to even believe that the more you kill, the more Biafra will stop. Who told you that? Who told you that when you die, Biafra will stop? Is that person not good to die? Somebody who said if you die, Biafra will come quicker. You see, he saw the death coming and he ran away. But he encouraged you to die. He also pray for our death and he will remember you. Come on, everyone will go. The truth is bitter, I understand. Most of you, including me, there was a time I'm so in love with Nnamdi, that name Nnamdi. But if you talk against him by my side, in fact, I may stop talking to you, I may not talk to you for a period of 1 month. But at the time I have to wake up to my subconscious mind that ask myself the question, is this man actually fighting for freedom? What has he given to prove his uprightness in this nation? I look around the structure of IPOB. Those who are handling the important and the key positions in IPOB. These are his relatives. In any organization, money is the problem. It is unique process all over. Yes, indirectly, it is true. Money makes work easy. Money also creates problems. In IPOB, the problem that we see in IPOB was created by money. Greedy people. Don't job and they can have a clean up. And when you never say what I'm going to clean up and hate me. I don't have money in all because in all the struggle of IPOB, there is nothing we can say this is what we are doing. This is the structure that we put in place. The only thing we put in place in IPOB is command and control structure. Not command the chain and the bind the then all one side make us a that was what we achieved. And the value that is going on in our land today, what we achieved. There is no good structure. There is no good structure that we achieve in IPOB. Although not Kailo. Although on the back, Kailo will empower to have agro-tech, which means the other channel. All these things that you are talking about today is what if our people have the mind of listening. It's very easy to understand that the mission of IPOB has ended. You saw the young man in court. It's trying to show that he stays strong. But spiritually and physically, you can see that Walker Babadi. And two get power, maybe one more, you go to the reaction. We got the command of 2 million men of Umbrella. You can play God if you want. All these things are more formalities are not stop. For me, it doesn't make any sense. Life today, preserve your life. You that are still inside the bush, cannot revolutionate, come out from it. The person who keeps inside the bush is not in the bush. He don't have any intention of being there. I've said this in before. I made post one day on Facebook and say, everybody in abroad should go home so that we'll fight for this Biafra when we come down. They start importing those in abroad because they want you to buy. Let's break it down for you. Those of you who are dying, who are taking bullets for this idiot abroad. Let me make it clear. I'm also in abroad. But we are not dying. I'm not somebody. Their intention is after they kill all of you, they will come back and occupy position in their system. Okay, well, all balloon matter at Biafra, how are they? That is all. Well, I go the point now. But first, I brought on you. In my of Adam, we know all these things. We have seen the evil in their mind. When they start murmuring, the journey is prolonged. The journey of our freedom has been prolonged by those who are murmuring, by those who are stealing, by those criminals that wear a wolf in the sheep clothing. Those are the people who prolong this journey of life. The land they are now never in Ampa. We are just looking at it. And all of a sudden, we are diverted to a new direction. This is very unfortunate. I'm not sincere with you. We have done everything that needs to be done to get that system. What we have never done is implementation. All the awareness has been created since the year has been finished and right, but let's not implement the policies that will bring the Biafra to come. Now they can imagine a Bible. Because as long as this Biafra struggle continues, we will continue to be rich. Ọkpọta ofe politician na ọkpọ ọya kọtọgide ọya nke ahụ kpọ ya na-atụ nye ego na hapụ onye nke ahụ kpọta onye ọzọ. All that we have labored for in IPAB, have you ever heard the amount that we contributed? Of course, it's not necessary for us to know the amount, but it's necessary for us to know what we have achieved. Of course, we know what we have achieved. The period in our and the other places. This is what we have achieved. Yes. Concrete evidence of what we achieved. All the bloodshed in our city today in our land. Apart from that, from the north and west, nothing in the election. The general side has still document here, the package of Mamadi Webu. It's okay. We now have it's where there is something the phobia for the floor. Enough of all this shenanigans. And mind you, those of us who are in this church, if you are not willing, people will make you the same. If you are not prepared, if your heart is not well prepared to face the challenges of Biafra restoration, of freedom, we are talking to a broad bottom to be realistic here. If you are not willing to pass through that narrow way, you better go out. You better go out. You will not be tested. When you are brought to account, you don't start fighting and insulting people. Account. Not just that the visa. You are not willing to be questioned or answer questions. Then you are not supposed to come and say you want to serve the public. What makes me a leader is when the more you are being questioned, the more you are being tackled, the more you become stronger. I drive friends from people of people around me. If you don't criticize me, I won't be able to perform. If you want to criticize me, I want you to ask me questions. A teacher that is being confronted with questions each time when it comes to class, continue to do research. Because if your student is more educated than you, that there is no need of you being a teacher. So if you know that your student is going to have you questions that you don't expect, before you go to the class, you prepare nicely. That makes you a leader. You must be prepared to face those who you are leading. ọgbọ́n ajá gáàsì tọ́lá ń bapọ̀ wí tọwọ́ sọ́wọ́ ní gáàsì wọlé ọgbọ́n ní tọ́lá ká ajá gáàsì ìbẹ́gẹ́ni iná ń bẹ́gi. No be mouth dey take the fight for freedom. It is still your character. It is still your actions and inactions that makes you a freedom fighter. I don't want to take much of your time. You are doing well so far. And may God in heaven continue to bless and reward you in your generation. May God bless you all. The Republic of Biafra. And we will be fighting for our freedom. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my brother. And of course, that is the voice of our brother, Mazi Aslem Odowele. A very principled brother, I must tell you. A very committed brother, or one of those people who ultimately paid sacrifice on every level. Yes, of course, the journey must continue. But first thing first. Oh, we not do consultation. A lot of things has been destroyed. A lot of things are bad. A lot of things are not in place. We keep neglecting them. It is to our detriment. And those things you say, oh, we are not going to do. Nigeria is gradually recolonizing us. This is the time we have to approach our people. This is the time to engage all these processes. Consultation is a must. Congregation is a must. At this moment, I'm joined by my dad in the Lord. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can. Even though
good evening, sir.
The audio is here and there, I was listening. Yeah, good afternoon from here. And I will say good afternoon to all Biafrans. There's a lot of noise. I don't know how that is showing. But anyway, just want to say a few things. I want to say good afternoon from here.
As always, a network issue, but then it's still there. Let's watch if it's going to improve. This is Nigeria, of course. When rainfall, you know what to expect. And then maybe I have to cut him off and then see if I can be able to get him back. The truth cannot be overemphasized. Congregation must continue. We must assemble. We must assemble. And the issue of consultation, it cannot be negotiated. A lot of things has happened from among us, unaddressed issues. And I'm telling you, the weight of it is horrible. The weight of it can overwhelm us if these issues are not properly addressed. This is not about, okay, I think I have him back. Can you hear me, sir?
Can hear you, my Reverend.
Okay.
So we are good.
The noise is out now.
Yeah, we're good. Okay. So thank you very much. Yeah. And I will say good afternoon from here to all Biafrans and all of us of freedom. I want to thank you especially for keeping up with this program, because as I always say, this program must continue irrespective of threats, blackmail, and whatever it is, the undermining. The crooks are yet to understand that we are here to stay. We are not going anywhere. We say they are yet to understand it. But unfortunately, it breaks my heart to see this young, handsome men who are now being caught. And I'm hoping The government of the land will grant these boys the opportunity, another chance. Because if you truly look at the whole thing, they don't know what they're doing. The chief culprit is now at the DSS lounge, telling them he wants the calmness to come after he initiated a complete charade and mayhem in the land. And these boys are now being picked up here and there, and all of them are going to be picked up regardless of how long it takes. But unfortunately, they are not picking up the gangsters, the leaders. We do know that Benjamin Madabu is still running free. What's his name that you mentioned on this program, the one in Biafra land? Bright Chimezie is still running loose. He came in Kebido from Imo State and then become the Biafra land coordinator. Ikechukwu Gwoha is still free. Amuebo barrister, according to my Tondam, was this guy, if I need your four, they are all taking refuge in the Janjaweed land right now. So, if the government is serious about this whole thing, they should pick up these individuals for questioning, because they were the people that were responsible for. They were the people collecting money for these people that were asked to go to the bush. They were the sponsors. They were aware of the whole gangs, even before they started having problems. Of course, people that understand what's going on knows that these boys began to move their different ways when promises made to them were not fulfilled. People who will listen to this criminal of our time, Lieutenant Nandekana, will remember that in October or thereabouts, 2020, he was all over the radio telling the Biafrans who are in the service to resign and move away, that he's going to pay them ×2 of their earnings. Starting immediately, they called the numbers. He gave out numbers on the air, and he called himself mobilizing them. And today, anybody, any right-thinking human being will know that all those guys have been set up and they have been led to their early graves. So the monies, for instance, the one he paid for 2 months, if he ever paid anybody, once they come to the camp, monies does not get to them again. And they were denied information. They were made to believe that they are fighting for the freedom. And they asked them to break their phones. So for the governors that are offering them leniency or clemency, whatever it is, should consider that some of these boys does not have any means to understand what is going on. But I still pledge, I still pray that they will put them somewhere. And if they will know, because there are still a lot of them, this parading on the Facebook is not for the best interest of the citizens. The parading of these criminal elements on Facebook with the flag to show that these people are Biafrans, it doesn't make sense. You are more or less disgracing yourself. We are giving you this information openly on the radio so that you can have sense. Because if you have sense, you don't parade criminals just like that and tie their hands in the back. You know, any information they are giving you in that situation is more or less information obtained under duress. And all this drama about putting flag or putting machete or everything to make sure that these people, yes, and this and that. It's just another lunacy. If you want to do something, when you catch them, you use them for investigation. I heard the boy they were asking, oh, he came from a camp. Whatever, are they still there? On the Facebook. So if you are asking that question, there are kingpins who are now in Abuja will tell them to run away if they ever want to tell them to run away. But that's how we know that these guys were set up to be killed. Because these people that are collecting the money who are not paying them are responsible for many deaths they have caused on these boys. So there's no need, whosoever is doing this nonsense, if they truly want to get into action to eradicate this menace in the land, should stop this parading on the Facebook. If you think you're a police officer or whatever, you need to get some more training, because that's just making another level of idiocy of yourself. To bring out about these guys and show them and question and answer face to face in the Facebook, because you want to undermine the restoration of Biafra. Let me tell you guys, I'm not against your efforts to eradicating this criminality that was forced by or formed by Nnamdi Kanu. The one thing you must know is that the issue of Biafra is legit and cannot be undermined. The issue of Biafra is legit and cannot be undermined. And Biafra lives on, it stays on. The agitation is rationable. The emasculation, the marginalization, the intimidation and everything, and the damage that the Nigerian terrorist caliphate has caused on our people cannot be overemphasized. There's so many things to talk about. And until time permits, we'll continue to bring them out. So, if you truly want to do yourself good, there's no need to be trying to undermine the name of Biafra. But rather, you need to go for the criminals. Because the last time I checked, I'm still a Biafran. And the reason for this action of Biafra is because we are not treated well in that contraption. We are not regarded as the citizens, irrespective of the fact that we are the ones that parade ourselves as citizens in Nigeria. We're the ones that are going all over Nigeria, building, developing. We're the ones that get around, move away from our tribes and marry people. Okay? I saw something on the Facebook when I don't know how factual that is. The Tinubu's daughter was saying that he is the one that welcomed the Igbos in Lagos and everything. I say, wait a minute, what kind of people are these? Is Lagos for Yorubas, or is it not one Nigeria we are talking about? Why would somebody be bringing such sentiments? And that statement alone is enough to get that woman for question. Because all she's trying to say that Yoruba land belongs to his father. And Igbos does not have right to be in Lagos. And of course, we are talking about one Nigeria. But somebody can say that my father was the one that allowed you guys a freeway in Lagos. What a mess. But anyway, that's just one of it. And my Reverend, I want to highlight that some of these things you said this afternoon, we are right. as far as consultation, there was every avenue for our people to consult with other groups, not forcing on them our ideology or what we think is happening to us, and not claiming that anywhere a woman ties a wrapper, they are different. And the Fulani people don't dare tie to wrapper. I've seen a lot of people tie to wrapper in West Africa. They are Biafrans, okay. Let's assume, or let's take that for now. But it's important to know that the confusion is that this criminal was out here talking and using the name of God, blasphemy upon blasphemy. That's why we believed them. That's why we were supporting him until we found out there's something more than what we are seeing in the open. And that's when the question started coming in. He went background and recruited these criminals to come and destroy, to come and take over. There's no need mentioning the steps he took from the time he came to recognize the people Biafran should listen to, and up to tomorrow. Now they are just using that particular clip to validate what they are doing, that their leader asked them to listen to it. We do know all these things. We do know that it's as a result of our questioning of what we have been doing. That's why he recruited ONYIBE, he recruited this mad woman, Nelly of Ebu, recruited Simon, recruited so many of them, the ones I know their names and the ones I don't know, to come and destroy the whole thing, because that's his agenda. And this is why he was not to simple instruction or a kind of some information that will help move the project further. As you know, Mazimefo has always said, even if we are going to get 4 deputies from different parts of the land, he will always mention that this thing is not going well. We need to do consultation and everything. They all fell on deaf ears. But I do want to point out that we may not generalize these issues because everybody is not the same. And I do want us to consider also that some of these people we talk about consulting them all the time. Are they really at Nigeria? Are they not seeing what is happening? Because even what we say over this radio here is part of consultation. We are open to discussing with people for better, all of us, and the betterment of all of us. Okay? But sometimes when we overbeat it, it appears that it's only the Igbos that have that responsibility to consult other people. Okay? That are suffering in Nigeria. You know that the Jaws, the Robos, the Chekiri, the Calabars, the Upper Edomites, the Benue, you see Autumn crying every day. Even though we still have some Igbos carved out into that state. Kogi, everybody, Plateau, Southern Kaduna. What I'm saying is that these people are suffering in Nigeria, even worse than us. And I say worse than us in the sense that these are the people who fought, who joined the Fulani to fight Biafrans in the 67 and 70 genocidal war. Because I heard that it was a cutoff in Benue, where the war mayhem was inflicted on our people. Today, the same people they joined to fight is now killing them. And that is not to say that I'm happy for the killings. It's not to say that I'm happy for the killings. It's just that, is it not time that these people realize that the presumed enemy is not actually the enemy, but actually looking for the interest of all of us? Because the last time I checked, I know that, consultation as regards this movement of freedom, it's an act of exchanging information and opinion about something in order to reach a better understanding. And consultation cannot happen when it's only one interested party. It entails both the person you're consulting and the person consulting. It shouldn't even be that way, unless it's being put on the person that is always told about consultation, that he is the chief and the other one is a client. But in this situation, I think that all these people, particularly the southern Nigeria, should know now that this is the middle belt and southern Nigeria, should know now that this is not about Igbos again. The only difference, according to the late General Madiebo, is that we do not want to smell shit too long. That's why we are always on top of it. That's why we always fighting to have a better stay, to have a better life. That's the only reason why most Igbos are always, don't treat me this way. Because we believe in the fairness and equity. But all these people that we are being talked to consult every time, what is their own role? Are they making themselves available for this consultation? Because I don't see anything that is difficult in this thing.
If you will allow me, let me point to a direction you are not considering. Everybody, for instance, in the southeast and south are truly going through here, even worse than the Igbo man. But you see, they do not have the privilege. They don't have that environment to rise up. Because from within, they will be completely oppressed. In the whole of South and Southeast, I think I know about 2 states that is comprises of dominant Igbo, no other tribe. For instance, Imo State. And if Imo people come up now and say they have an agenda, that idea, that ideology will get to every home in less than 24 hours. And so it is like cousin, nephew, uncle, and auntie all coming together to discuss, have family discussion. And so it is easy to move on. Have you lived in Bender State where different pole to another pole is different language? Have you been in Cross River State where you have over 1,000 ethnic nationality coexisting as one state? And then who speaks for them? Who will move them if we don't go to them? You go to Cross River State, Ugoja man have the reason why he cannot come out openly to support Biafra because of what played out during the war. It is applicable to most Idoma and Igala. But then, in Cross River State, you have Idoma people in Cross River State known as Iyala. You have Ugoja people. These were some of the tribe that were kidnapped by the Nigerian military to fight the Igbo nation. And most of our people who know this truth, we kind of perceive them as enemy. But they knew they didn't have the choice. It's either you kill the Igbo or you be killed by the Nigerian military. And that issue have not been discussed. And somewhere along the line, those who know what happened feel, these people feel keep quiet, something is not right. Let's just stay on our own. And this Ogoja man cannot have open discussion, internal discussion with Ugebu man, Obobura man, Tinapa man, Calabar man, to mention but a few. And so let's assume in Anambra you have 800 ethnic nationality group coexisting, different language. How are they going to mobilize themselves? Will it be as easy as it is now? And now all this minority, as they are referred to, they need somebody to trust. And these people cannot trust you except you extend a hand of fellowship to them. And when I say consultation, it's not coming to tell them, oh, let's do it, we got to save ourselves. It is going to ask them, are you happy the way we are being treated in Nigeria? And then you begin to hear their own version of the story.
Exactly.
So when I talk about consultation, I'm not saying we need to beg them. You need to, they know what is happening, but they lost hope. They just don't know how they can save themselves. They don't know where to begin from. And then they let you know, this is our fear. And now it is left for us to say, empty your fears. This is what we do. And so they don't have chance even when they want to. And when an Igbo man can galvanize themselves in 1 hour, I tell you, it is going to take them 1 year to even start discussion. But then, those who had this advantage, I think it is their duty to move into this region and help them regain themselves. It is like the church. The pastor goes on visitation. This enables him to understand the condition its members are facing. And the moment you see them in their low estate, and then you identify with them, you see the genuine spirit of Christianity emanating. You see love for the church. For instance, I went to visit a church member. They dress very fine to the church. They look very rich. And I tell you, when I go to their house, man, it looks like a dog house. And they never expected me. And so I said, no, I'm here. People come and give me food. They wanted to stop me from entering, but I did not. I want to know them. And I moved in immediately. And the chair I went to sit down, I tell you, my suit was all wetted. One of the baby urinated there. It was, and I jumped up immediately. And the woman said, oh sir, hey, sorry. I said, no, that's so it be for my house. So I cross legs, sit down inside the piece. I sit down inside the piece where my nyash they even scratch me. I dare not complain. I dare not show something is not right. I stayed with them. I made them happy. And did you know from that day, the commitment of these people, the appearance, everything changed. And then I now have the privilege to help them. I could now tell them, hey, you manage this thing like this, do like this, do like this. And I was able to help them. Imagine if I've not been to their house. I will not know what I'm going through. Imagine if I have not lowered myself to their level and assume that it's normal, it's okay, we can get better later on. They can't trust me. And so when I look at this perspective of a consultation, I'm not looking at it from the point of angle where I need to say, enjoy people and make we go fight for Biafra now. An open conversation. And once you open this conversation,
do you now see that this discussion for the interest of the listeners, has brought in a different approach, or rather a different understanding. Because our people need to understand this thing broken down. Is it today that we started talking about this consultation? No, but the way you explain it right now makes a lot of sense. And it brought to my memory a type of consultation you did a long time ago. I remember your story years back when we were still in the IPUB. How you went to this place. I don't know exactly where it is in the river state. But they supposed to celebrate. They always celebrate the freedom against Biafrans. When in the real sense of it, it wasn't Biafrans that did that evil to them. And
Nigerian army impersonated Biafrans and ravaged their land. They almost mobbed me.
Right.
If not that their son was the one that brought me to that island, I'm not sure I would have left there. And because of their son, they listened to me. And now after explaining to them, putting fact and figure before them, these elderly people were like, this is true. And they say, we have been wondering, how could this be? And that place is a home to me today. I didn't tell them, let's go and fight Biafra. No. Are you people happy with what is happening here? How do we go about this? And they say, no, Biafra can't kill our people. See, as they come, they can't kill us. Igbo people can't do like this. Igbo people, allow them to pour out.
And this is a war strategy. It happened during the Second World War. I believe it was Winston Churchill that, they mobilized themselves, and it's like to get America involved, they have to paint their aircraft like a German aircraft. To get America, to bomb, attack America, to get them involved in what they're doing. I'm not a good historian, but it's either the reverse. But something like that happened. The Nigerian army came and killed these people. They pretended that they were Biafrans, right? I just watched it about 3 months ago. They were still celebrating. They were still saying the same thing. And people like that needs to be reached out by people who understand this history. And that is through consultation that you are talking about here. And that's it. I asked that question because it's important that we make these differentiations. It's important that we clarify these things that we are talking, because we have lived in an era when people think that the consultations we are going is to bring a hot drink to somebody and give them 100 and say, come to and join Biafra. You're already showing them that you want to be on top of the game. That's a reason why you are doing that thing. Okay, and we need to educate our people to learn how to be informed on how to go about this mission. Not to show or to seem like we are trying to kind of pay them to be a part of this project, but to put an understanding to them, to know that we are all in the same mess. In order to build that trust among one another. Because there are so many questions to put out there. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know, I don't remember, I don't see anywhere that Igbo man goes to and try to dominate or take over the land. They just come and because when you talk about domination or takeover, it's similar to what is happening in Nigeria now. That people are forcing on us Ruga. You must do Ruga. You must give us a land to put a cow. But Igbo man goes any place and buys the land. They ask if you want to sell the land. And when you sell, they build it, they do something. I don't think that's in any form you're taking over or intimidating. Because you ask for the owner to sell the land to you. Okay, so this thing should continue. Please, this is exactly what I'm looking at, because, when you were talking about and the can, as far as refusing to do this thing, even when we have more population, a lot of people that can go on this errand, that can go on this mission.
So many of them within and outside Nigeria. So many of them.
He negated the whole thing. Okay? He negated the whole process. And do you know, you're talking about even within IPOB, it came to a point that they were now talking about Anambra and Imo. It came to a point, they're now talking about Abia. They have to select somebody that comes from Abia as a major principal officer, as according to them. Okay, so you see all these things. If you really examine what happened, it was a complete mess. So we are here to call on our people to consider your situation in that contraction called Nigeria, to consider what we're doing here. The only thing that we cannot tolerate in this new process is somebody coming in to undermine other people. We cannot tolerate that, for God's sake. There's no undermining. The same problem we saw with the group that we are can never be repeated. Anyone that want to be on top of this, anybody that will be a team leader, should also exemplify themselves as a team leader by bringing themselves low and seeking the advice of every stakeholder in decision making. That's how things work. That's how things work. We are talking about getting out of Nigeria because a lot of times people think that because they have the money, they have the power, they can run over everybody. And that's why we are stuck in this mess. That's what brewed all this mess in the land. That was brewed rancor, wickedness, jealousy of all kinds. Because people don't respect nobody. Here in the United States, people respect people. I think even the higher you get in the society, the more informed you are to know how to respect people. Because any slightest mistake, my brother, it doesn't matter who you are, they will put you where you belong. So I do want to thank you very much for this clarification. And we'll continue the message. As far as Igbo and Nyoma and Igbo is the same thing. There are a group of people.
Okay, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something also. Why this consultation is important. About 6 or 5 years ago, we visited the Igbo communities in Benue State. Starting from Ado local government, where you have majority of the indigenous there as Igbo. And the first shocking reception we received, having attended to us, is, we say una don't forget also. So una still they remember us. These are Igbo. The first thing is when their chief is seated, they say, hey, you are from where? You are from where? And you are from where? Abia, Imo. He said, we thought you people have forgotten us. And then for you people to be here, I think it's a miracle. And they were very happy. We spent 3 nights. We spent 3 nights moving from community to community. All of this Igbo community. And that is a part of consultation I'm saying. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, my reverend,
Yes.
go back to 2 minutes, because
Yes.
you were saying the first thing they said.
Yes.
So
And
please
the
start from
the
there.
moment we got there, having seated, their high chief, the first thing he asked us is, "Will you say una don't forget us?" Because they ask you from which state, Abia, from where, Imo, from where, Delta, and so on. He say, I china no chief ugo anyu. They say, but why would that be? He say, because anything our brothers aside Benue does, we are not involved. We know nothing. We are not part of it. Nobody talks about us. Nobody asks of us. As I'm talking to you, I receive update from those people almost on daily basis. And it is always about cry of their land being invaded by Fulanis. Our unknown gunmen are not seen there. Our ESM is not going there because they are not Eastern Igbo.
Eastern Security Network.
So Eastern Security cannot go there because they are not Eastern Igbo. But they are Igbo.
Hold on. After ranting about Biafra and everybody that ties to rapper, it's a Biafran. And after telling us about how Ata came to be, and Ada of whatever. You know, all these things, you dramatize all these things, then you come back and forget about what we're doing and created the Eastern Security Network. Go ahead, my brother. It's just that people may understand.
So for the first time, they now understand that they are not left alone. And you see, the confidence they have today now is that the moment they receive any threat, they call immediately. This is what is happening. This is what is happening. Most of them have been chased out of their building. And the Hausa now scavengers are coming to remove their roof, take their cooking material as aluminium, take every iron, and they are on the run. The Nigerian newspaper is not talking about it. Our freedom fighters, nobody is talking about it. I refuse to bring up some of these issues because individuals giving me information will be singled out. And one of them even suffered in the prison for more than 9 months. He has almost 11 children, a peasant farmer in Ado local government. He joined IPOB volunteer. And after all the criminality, they were abandoned and they left them. But they don't know what is actually going on with the struggle. They think everything is still going on. But I'm telling you, they are in danger. And I will use this opportunity to tell every other pro-Biafran group, all of you, beam your satellite into Igbo in Benue State. Starting from our local government, first of all, you will see what they are doing to Igbo people there. And tomorrow you will meet an Igbo man in a war front and he kills you and say, who is Igbo? I have heard it from my people many times. And you see a policeman and you say, you look at the police name, it's Imeke. He say, one keki me say LM1 Abrom 1. You don't know where that orientation is coming from. You don't know where that thing is coming from. But not until you come and then you say, Manechinam Afagebu Imeka, and then he say Afambu Imeka. Manawu Monyabo. He say, Okwandabo Bundibu. And then let the person begin to remember, I bondeka. When you drag with you, the next thing you will hear is, okay, we are Bendelibu. You have come back home automatically. But then, if this now, let's go back to let's go back to the statement of Ifan Yukowa, the governor of Delta State. He said, "My issue as an Igbo is not something to discuss." He was telling you, it's not what I want to talk here. Forget about it. I am an Igbo man. Don't even go there.
Simple.
And then he come back to the issue at hand. Do you understand? And that is because he know what his audience want to hear. I'm not Igbo man, I'm a car man. That is what they want to hear. And just to cut the long story short, as a learned individual, he just move everybody out from there. This is not an issue to discuss. And now, there are many people wallowing in ignorance, and they will die defending this ignorance. And when we talk about consultation, let them let their fears out, and somebody address it, and you will see everything will be fine. It comes in different way. I'm not even looking at the aspect of begging anybody. You cannot beg somebody to save his life.
You cannot.
And so it's the choice they will make. But sometimes they don't know the value of life. And then you let them suffer death a little bit. And then they understand what it means to have good health. I have heard when they say health is wealth, health is wealth. I never understand. I have worked very hard and abused my body. And then one day, I felt sick. I couldn't move my hand. I couldn't move any part of my body. And I never knew I would recover. And then gradually, I got myself back. And since that very day, I understand that if I should cherish anything, if I should respect anything, it's going to be my body.
Okay.
If I didn't suffer it, I would not learn to treat myself well. And now it is applicable to most of them. They think that maybe exempting themselves from the whole process exonerates them or makes them not going to be part of those who will suffer the consequence of our negligence. But the moment they know that they are not going anywhere, you see they begin to coordinate themselves. There is so much confusion, seed of discord sowed among us.
So much,
We do not address them, we are not going anywhere. And so
we have a lot of work.
Yes.
So honestly, I will just appeal. That more of emphasis will be on these issues, because that's what we need to put together. We already know what this criminal of our time has done to our people. We already know. So we need to do better. We can do better with this consultation, like you're saying. But again, it's not going to be just you. It's not just going to be us. We need everybody to participate. Participation is important. I'm saying that we need everybody.
That is the essence of the competition.
Because you have had this slogan that people now say we need only 50 men in Biafra land who can deliver.
To say 50 million.
Nah, I say Ndiandushi. And you see them a lot of mugu. A lot of mugu will jump in as in the Chukuje. They become the 50 men. They from 1,000 men. They are not looking for 50 men.
No, 100.
Is that really realistic? And the ones they get it in 2023, Biafra will come. I mean, how can't our people reason that we need more than what we are today to get to our destination? Okay, we need more than who we are today. How many of us that are participating? It requires a lot more. We should take away our minds from delusion and thinking that things will happen because it took only Moses to deliver Israel from the land of Egypt.
No, but that is not the truth. It's not the truth.
That's not true, because they gathered.
Moses was just chosen as a custodian. But God used Jethro, his father's in-law, who was not even a Jewish.
Of course. What about other people?
I'm not talking about Joshua, Caleb. I'm not talking about his brother Elon. I'm not even talking about Pharaoh's daughter. I'm not talking about his parents. Moses' parents were there. Amred and Yoshobe, all of them were there. Moses' sister were there. Moses had everybody he needed. His family, his children were there. But then it was just
they also gathered before the movement takes. It didn't happen overnight.
He had 120 elders helping him to administer to the people. There were 120 elders standing by. I'm not talking about the line of the Levites, priesthood, who were standing by in their thousands to attend to every of his need and guide him spiritually as of when necessary.
Of course. But today we want 50 men who can donate $1,000 every month or 10,000. And then Biafra will come. Our people need to be wise enough. And this moment I will call on all Biafrans and all lovers of freedom. Remember, there are so many Egyptians that left with the Israelis as well when they left. If you love freedom, you can support Biafra. This is real. We cannot continue in this contraption called Nigeria. It's a call to nowhere. But meanwhile, we are still calling on our people to participate in their local elections. Get your PVCs for now. For now, make a good choice of who is going to represent you.
And of course, always network issue, but then you're back now. Yes. You're back.
I'm back again. I'm just saying that we are not involved in the national by good governance right now, because all those people that we put in place who understands what governance is all about, if they know about good governance, will help a lot. Will help us. We'll work with them to get out of this mess that we are in that contraption. So I encourage you, and I encourage all the indigenous population in Nigeria to stand up and do what they're supposed to do. It's not about Biafrans alone. Unless you love that contraption, unless you like to be suffering. That's my call this afternoon. Meanwhile, I just want to thank you, my brother, for having me and for honestly giving me these questions that, very important to the growth and the final completion of this project. I want to thank you so much. God in heaven must surely bless you. I've always told you this. And for all Biafrans who are doing their best, the parliament, and by extension, the Biafra de facto customary government, we must do the right things. We must tell ourselves the truth. We must get to work, because you can see there's a lot of things to do. And for the listeners, we encourage you to look and search where you will be able to participate. I know that my prophet Mbalike comes on here every time to announce numbers. Anselm just finished speaking before I come on, and I want to thank him for his participation today. He usually announces his numbers for people who are in South Africa to be a part of this project. We cannot continue to deceive ourselves. Yes, Biafra issue, Biafra situation, Biafra agitation is legit, but we must organize ourselves. My Reverend, I want to thank you very much. In a few minutes, I'll be American. Of course, being an American to celebrate when they got their independence from the British. So while I'm celebrating for them, I'm also looking forward that one of these days, that God in heaven, with the help of the world leaders, will help Biafra to escape out of this dungeon called Nigeria. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, sir. And of course, that is the voice of our Daddy Lord Mazi Obidi Obienu. And of course, to bring this broadcast to an end this evening, the issue of consultation and congregation must continue. Not only does it create room for unification, for one's diverse opinion to be brought to table, and of course ultimately equal participation, and then everybody's opinion being involved, as much as our interest and representative are being protected. We cannot go anywhere until these processes have been properly engaged. Let the congregation begin, and let the consultation have its full effect as far as the Biafra Restoration Project is concerned. On this note, I appreciate all of you who have called in, my brother Aslem Uduwin, and of course Daddy in the Lord, for lending your voice out, and of course with the voice of reasoning addressing the people of Biafra. I understand how you feel. But then, when all this ups and downs is over, we will meet again, and we will tell the story. Actually got here. On this note, I say good night from here, and God bless you. I remain George ONYIBE, and I sign off from here. Ndewono. Ndewono.
Oh, nana. Land of the right hand side. Land of my originality.